Yeah, get your coffee. Hope you're standing about this time here. What is it, 6 a.m. here? A lot of you getting up and getting out the door here. Glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Stella Escobedo. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and check in with Netta now for a look at our forecast. Yesterday was an interesting day.
Yeah.
More of that, or are we going to get that sunshine again?
It's pretty similar. Yeah, we're going to have the cool cloudiness going on. Not as misty this morning, not noticing as much of that happening. And obviously our sunrise has been, a minute later each day. So I know it's so hard to wake up when it's still dark outside, and then you add the chill factor to it all, and you just want to snuggle. So I appreciate our producer for that song, because that gets you hopefully wanting to get up and get moving. Sunrise 6:41 this morning. So yeah, it's a little bit later. Visibility not too bad, even though we do have overcast conditions. Does not seem like fog is going to be too much of an issue. Jenny.
Not too many issues out on the road. Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday. Here it is, big picture, a lot of green out there. I know you see red to the south. I'll get to that. Just give me 1 second. So crash-wise Valley Center area, there is a new one impacting the southbound drive of Valley Center Road. This is right before you hit Woods Valley Road. Not a lot of info coming in on this one, but one lane is currently blocked. Everything else to the North County looks great. No issues with your travel time. Should be all dry on your freeways. Here's where the culprit is, the Coronado Bridge down to 6 miles an hour mid-span. The rest of your travel times to the South County are fine and crash-free. Stella.
I'm very familiar with that song because the cartoon Sing is very popular in our household.
Yes.
And that's where you hear that song. This morning, schools in San Diego Unified could soon require COVID vaccines for staff and thousands of students. The topic is at the center of today's virtual board meeting.
San Diego Unified originally planned to hold that meeting in person. However, the district now claiming they're changing the plans because of COVID concerns. News 8's Evan Rani live in University Heights with more on what we can expect here. Good morning, Evan.
Hey, good morning to both of you, Eric and Stella. That's right. This is a hot button topic, of course, the discussion of whether or not students and staff would need to be vaccinated if they're eligible once they go back to school. Now, of course, here in San Diego, it's no surprise that they're taking that issue up at San Diego Unified School Board meeting, and they've transitioned now that meeting from in-person to virtual, with a big reason for that being just the sheer number of people that are expected to hear make a comment at today's meeting. Now, Richard Barrera, he says that he is going to encourage that board to make the decision that is best for the students and that is safest for those students as well.
Students 16 and older would be the first, who would go through the requirements. And then as we receive full FDA approval for younger groups of students, then timelines would kick in for those students as well.
Now, Barrera says that of the approximately 100,000 students in San Diego Unified, there are about 42,000 eligible students to get their shots. He says nearly 65% of eligible students and 80% of staff have already been fully vaccinated, so more than half on both of those demographics. If passed, the district would join the school districts of Los Angeles and Oakland, which have already implemented a vaccine mandate. Under the district's vaccination plan, all who are eligible will need to be fully vaccinated by December 20th. Barrera says it's those students under the age of 12 that are not eligible for a vaccine that are still a cause for concern. But if the FDA changes their vaccine requirements and allows for a vaccine between that age of, say, 5 to 11 years old, they will also adjust accordingly. Now, again, at 5 p.m., that's when that vote is expected to take place. They are, of course, ahead of that vote, going to have that public comment portion. So if you would like to be a part of that meeting, you can head to our website. There's a link to the Zoom on there on the article right now. So you can go to our website and find out more about how to get involved. But again, this is likely going to be a very hot button topic, and they're expected to vote tonight as to whether or not that vaccine is going to be required for students and staff who are eligible to receive it. I'll send things back to you, Stella and Eric.
Evan, thank you. This morning, the COVID booster shot from Pfizer is now available in San Diego.
News 8's Chris Groh is live outside the county administration building with that part of the story. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, and there are a couple key points here to remember when we talk about the booster shot, especially as it starts to roll out here in San Diego County. So let's start with who's eligible, because that is going to be on the tops of so many minds here in San Diego County. It is going to be the same as the federal standard right now. For those looking to get that third Pfizer booster shot, it's going to be those eligible, those who are anyone 65 and older, residents 18 and over in long-term care settings, people ages 50 to 64 with underlying health conditions like cancer and diabetes that can lead to some serious issue COVID-19, and those 18 to 64 who have increased risk to COVID because of their job. Now, as for where to go, it is going to be a little bit different from the first vaccine rollout. Options are going to include your doctor's office, a number of pharmacies within the county that will offer the booster. I think it's up to about, 254 pharmacies or a county vaccination site. Now, we're not going to have those super sites as of yet because this group of people that are eligible are so small, but the county does say that they have enough supply here to handle those who are eligible, and will have those plans in place as we could potentially see more people become eligible. But a key point here with all of this is that, again, as Dr. Wilma Wooten is about to note here for you, it is for those that got the Pfizer vaccine.
There is no difference between the original Pfizer and the 2 doses and the booster. So we're using the same vaccination or vaccine to boost the original vaccine, full course.
Yeah, and again, for those of you with J&J and Moderna wondering when your turn is next, we do expect the FDA and the CDC to move through the same process as they did with Pfizer. And again, you will need your vaccination card, a copy of it, a picture of it before you do get your booster to show, hey, I did get those first 2 shots and they were for Pfizer there. Eric and Stella.
Okay, Chris, thank you. And we are just getting word that Pfizer officially submitted data to the FDA regarding its vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. The FDA is expected to take at least several weeks to analyze the information. Pfizer says it will formally submit a request for emergency use authorization in the coming weeks. And this will sure be a hot button issue, as some parents say they are not ready to vaccinate their kids.
Big development there. Police are expected to release more information today after a woman and her 2-year-old son died in a fall at Petco Park. And this morning we are learning new details from witnesses who didn't want to be on camera. One man says he didn't hear anyone scream and didn't realize a child was in the woman's arms until after they fell. But other witnesses believe the child was falling over the rail and the mother was trying to save him. Well, police are calling the death suspicious as of now.
This morning, closing arguments are set to take place in the penalty phase of the trial for Jesse Gomez, the man who murdered a San Diego police officer. Gomez was convicted of shooting and killing Officer Jonathan de Guzman and wounding his partner back in 2016. A jury is deciding if Gomez should get the death penalty for life in prison without parole. Even with a moratorium on executions in the state, the jury can decide to send Gomez to death row. And this morning, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is headed to Washington, D.C. to lobby for more rental assistance funds for San Diego. Next week, the mayor will also ask City Council to authorize using $5 million in federal funds for local nonprofits to provide free legal resources to those facing eviction. This comes as the state's eviction moratorium ends on Thursday. The mayor says more than $100 million has already helped around 12,000 San Diego households during the pandemic.
Here we are on a Tuesday looking outside here. A cool start.
Yes, definitely a cool start, and it's going to stay pretty cool throughout the afternoon. Right now, overcast skies. Oh, it's dark still, and temperatures are in the 60s. So, you know, temperatures are not going to rise by much by the afternoon. About 10 degrees is probably all you're going to see, a swing of just 10 degrees from now until 1, 2 o'clock when we reach the heat of the day. It's 67 degrees downtown, which is actually one of our warmer spots west of the mountains. And then looking at visibility, you saw in that view, Mount Soledad, you could see the lights to downtown San Diego. So that does mean that the cloud coverage is not sitting too low. Unless you're in Ramona, that's visibility down to about 4 miles. That's also where there might be that mist since you're at 100% relative humidity. That's where the temperatures are matching the dew point, same within Alpine. So we typically would see some of that moisture actually in the form of the small raindrops, those little ones that we saw yesterday, all day yesterday. 60 in Escondido right now, 61 in Poway, low 60s for Carlsbad, Del Mar, El Cajon, Chula Vista, you're at 65. So it is starting off a little cool and cloudy, and it's pretty much going to stay that way through most of the day today. But you'll also notice today that may be different from yesterday, a bit of a breeze. So that may also add to the chill factor. Winds gusts could get as high as 20 miles per hour west of the mountains, but you see all the purple there. East of our mountains, we could see up to 40 mile per hour wind gusts throughout the afternoon and into the overnight hours. All of that in onshore flow, so that west wind does cool us down. Here's your playground forecast to help you out if you have toddlers. Low 60s to start off. By the middle of the day, we might see some sunshine, although we did not really see that yesterday unless you're in places like Julian. So we'll see if the cloud coverage decides to burn off. And if it does not, I'm sorry to say, you'll have to probably keep that sweater on for most of the day.